All right, welcome to the Board Business Channel. Today we're gonna be taking a look at Wiwynn.
Wiwynn.
That's a Wiwynn.
That's right.
And you might not know them right off the bat, but they are a big deal in the cloud world.
Yeah.
They're basically the folks who make the plumbing for all those huge data centers.
Yeah. Think of all the cat videos you're watching.
Yeah, cat video.
All those Instagram reels, all that stuff. It's all powered by...
It's all gotta go through the pipes.
Yeah, it's all gonna go through the pipes, exactly.
And Wiwynn makes those pipes super efficient.
They do.
So, what we really want to dig into here is how this company, led by a woman named Emily, who seems to really like a challenge, how they became such a major player in a really tough market.
Yeah, a really tough market. And you know what's interesting is that they actually started as a part of Wistron, which is this like huge manufacturing company.
Kind of like a little fish in a big pond.
Yeah.
But they decided, you know what, we're going to go out into the ocean.
Yeah, they went from tadpole to like, great white shark.
Exactly. They spun off and became this global leader in something called ODM Direct cloud infrastructure.
Yeah, ODM Direct.
You know, what is that? I think a lot of people listening are like, what is that?
So let's break it down.
Yeah.
Basically, they became their own company back in March of 2012.
Okay.
But, you might think spitting off from a company like Wistron is like getting a free pass to success.
Yeah, sure.
But it's not really like that. It's more like they gave them a map, maybe a slightly used map, and said, good luck.
Right, you got to find your own way.
Yeah, exactly. You got to find your own way. And Emily was really the one who kind of like, drove them through the wilderness.
Okay, so she's like the Lewis and Clark.
Yeah, exactly. The Lewis Clark of data centers.
And there was some skepticism right at the beginning.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. People were like, can they really make it on their own?
Right, like they don't have the big company backing them anymore.
Yeah, can actually hack it.
Yeah.
And you know what's funny is that Emily, even before the spinoff, she was already thinking about this stuff way back in 2008.
Really?
When she was still at Wistron, she had this vision about cloud computing and data centers.
Now, back then, I mean, that was
like the Wild West.
The Wild West?
Yeah.
Nobody really knew what was going on.
It was like everyone was talking about flying cars, but nobody had actually seen one.
Exactly. It was just an idea. It wasn't like a real thing for most businesses.
Yeah.
But Emily, she saw the potential there.
She did. And you know what she did? She managed to get like a few $1 million from Wistron.
Okay.
To start doing research and development on data center tech.
That's pretty impressive.
It is, yeah. So they weren't messing around.
It wasn't just like a side project.
No, they were serious about this.
Okay, so they had the vision, they had some money.
They had the vision, they had some money.
And they decided to actually build something.
They did. They teamed up with ITRI.
ITRI.
Which is this really cool research institute in Taiwan. They do a lot of like, really cutting edge stuff.
Yeah.
And they actually built this 20-foot container data center.
Wait a minute, a data center in a container?
A data center in a container.
Like a shipping container.
Like a shipping container.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so you can imagine, like, you could just ship this thing anywhere.
It's a plug-and-play data center.
It's a plug-and-play data center, exactly.
That's really smart.
And you know what they did? They took this thing,
and
they showed it to potential clients all over the world.
They're like, hey, look what we can do.
Yeah, look, we're not just talking about this, we can actually build it.
We're not just dreamers, we're doers.
Exactly, we're doers.
So that's really interesting, and it shows that they were thinking ahead.
They were way ahead of the curve.
They were ahead of the curve.
Yeah, it wasn't just luck. They really understood the market trends, and they had the guts to go for it.
All right, so let's talk about how they actually sell their stuff.
Okay.
The traditional way of selling hardware to cloud companies was kind of messy.
It was a mess.
It was a mess, right? You had the ODMs, the original design manufacturers.
Right.
They would make the stuff.
Right.
And then they would sell it to these big brand name companies.
Yeah.
Who would put their logo on it, add some software.
Right.
And then sell it to the cloud service providers, the CSPs.
Yeah.
It was like a really long game of telephone.
It was like a middle school dance.
Yeah.
You got to go through like 5 different people to ask someone to dance.
So many middlemen.
So many middlemen.
And that drives up the cost.
Absolutely. And you know what the cloud companies started to realize?
What's that?
They're like, wait a minute. We know exactly what we want.
Right.
We don't need all this extra branding and software. We just want the hardware.
We just want the good stuff.
Yeah, the good stuff at a good price.
Right.
So that's where Wiwynn comes in with their ODM Direct model.
ODM Direct.
Yeah.
Okay, so they basically said to the cloud companies, hey, you tell us what you want.
Yeah.
And we'll build it for you.
Exactly. No middlemen.
Straight from the source.
Straight from the source.
It's like going to the farmer's market for your vegetables.
Yeah.
Instead of the grocery store.
Exactly.
You're getting it right from the farmer.
Right from the source.
And it's fresher and it's probably cheaper.
And it's cheaper.
Yeah. That's a really smart move.
It was a very disruptive move.
It's a disruptive move.
Yeah.
But didn't this create some problems with their parent company, Wistron?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Because Wistron was also selling stuff to those brand name companies.
They were selling laptops to those same companies.
So it's like you're competing with your own customers.
Yeah, it's like if you're a bakery and you start selling cakes that are better than the cakes your biggest bread customer is selling.
Right. That's not going to go over well.
Not going to go over well.
So what did they do?
So Wistron said, okay, we got to fix this.
Right.
They decided to completely separate Wistron, make it totally independent.
Okay. So they're like, you're on your own now.
You're on your own.
Go make us proud.
Yeah, go make us proud. But don't step on our toes.
Right. And Wiwynn said, okay, we got this.
Yeah. And they really focused on selling directly to those cloud companies.
All right. So they're off on their own.
They're off on their own.
They've got this new business model.
Yeah.
But starting a company takes money.
It does.
Did they have enough?
Well, they had about 100 million new Taiwan dollars.
Okay.
Which is a decent amount. But in the tech world,
it's not a ton.
It's not a ton. It's like, enough to get you started. But
you got to be careful.
You got to be careful.
And Emily's attitude was basically like, we're going to make this work.
Yeah, she was very determined.
Or we're going to go down swinging.
Yeah, she was not afraid to take risks.
So they're a new company.
Brand new.
They're trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
And they're still kind of tied to Wistron.
Right. They had to walk this tightrope.
Right. They can't completely alienate Wistron.
No, they needed Wistron's help.
But they also need to establish their own identity.
Yeah, they had to be like, hey, we're our own company, but we still need you.
That's a tough position to be in.
It's a very delicate balance.
So how did they actually make all this hardware? Did they build their own factories?
So at first they didn't.
Okay.
They went with what's called a light asset model.
Light asset model.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It means they focused on the brains of the operation.
Okay.
The research, the design, the engineering.
Mindless stuff.
Yeah, the fun stuff. But they didn't actually own the factories.
Okay.
They partnered with Wistron for the manufacturing.
So they're like the architect who designs the building.
Yeah.
But they don't actually build it.
Exactly.
They hire a construction company to do that.
Right. And that allowed them to be really nimble.
Okay.
And focus on, building relationships with customers.
Right.
But then as they started to grow,
yeah,
they ran into a problem.
What's that?
Wistron couldn't keep up.
Their factories couldn't make enough stuff?
They couldn't make enough stuff.
It's like, you're a band and you get really popular.
Yeah.
And suddenly you're playing bigger venues.
Right.
But your van is too small to carry all your equipment.
Exactly.
So what did they do?
So around 2019, they decided to start building their own factories.
Okay.
So they could have more control over their supply chain.
They're like, all right, we got to upgrade the van.
Yeah, we need a bigger van.
We need a semi-truck.
We need a semi-truck, exactly.
That's a big step.
It was a huge step. It showed that they were serious about growing.
All right, so they've got the brains, they've got the factories.
Yeah.
How did they become this global leader that we're talking about?
Well, a big part of it was landing some really big customers.
Okay, like who?
Like Microsoft and Meta.
Those are some big names.
Those are the giants of the cloud world.
Yeah, if you're selling to them.
Yeah.
You're doing something right.
You're doing something right.
So it wasn't just about selling individual servers. They started selling these things called integrated rack solutions.
Right.
What are those?
So instead of selling the individual parts.
Yeah.
They're selling the whole package.
Okay.
The servers, the networking gear, the cables.
Everything you need.
Everything you need, all pre-assembled.
Like a meal kit for data centers.
Yeah, a meal kit for data centers.
I like that.
And they were really good at it.
Okay.
They could put these racks together really quickly.
Yeah.
And they would even fly them over to the U.S.
To show Microsoft.
Yeah, to show Microsoft how it works.
That's impressive.
It's very impressive. And you know what? Microsoft was impressed.
They were like, we want some of that.
Yeah, they placed huge orders.
Yeah, huge orders.
Tens of thousands of racks per quarter.
That's a lot of racks.
That's a lot of racks.
That's like selling out a stadium.
Yeah, it's a lot of computing power.
And they're not just focused on the present?
No. They're thinking about the future.
Oh, okay. What are they looking at?
They're looking at things like advanced cooling.
Right, because data centers get hot.
They get very hot.
They generate a lot of heat.
Yeah, it's like having a giant computer in your living room.
Yeah, it's going to heat up the place.
You need a good AC system.
And they're also looking at power saving.
Absolutely, because data centers use a lot of electricity.
Yeah, that's a big concern.
It is. And they're thinking about 5G AI edge computing.
So they're really on top of the trends.
They're way ahead of the game.
That's really impressive, and their goal is to increase their market share.
Yeah, they want to go from about 10% to like 15, 20%.
That's a big jump.
It's a huge jump.
But they seem to be on track to do it.
They do. They're very ambitious.
Now, one thing we saw in the material that's really interesting is this idea of de-sinicization.
Yeah.
What is that all about?
So basically it means they're moving their manufacturing out of China.
Okay.
Because of all the, geopolitical stuff going on.
The trade wars and all that.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's a risk management strategy.
It's a big risk management strategy.
They're not putting all their eggs in one basket.
Exactly.
And they've actually built factories in Mexico and the U.S.
They have.
So they're putting their money where their mouth is.
Yeah, they're not just talking about it. They're doing it.
And they're also getting into AI servers.
Big time.
They've got tons of orders for those.
Yeah, over 600.
That's a lot of AI servers.
That's a lot of AI servers.
So they're really positioning themselves for the future.
They are. They're the forefront of the AI revolution.
And they're also focusing on thermal solutions and power saving.
Yeah, those are the big challenges in the data center world.
Right. You got to keep those servers cool.
Yeah. And you got to do it without using a ton of electricity.
It's like trying to run a marathon in the desert.
Yeah, you need to stay hydrated.
You need to be efficient.
You got to be efficient.
So it's a really interesting story.
It is. It's a fascinating company.
They started as part of something bigger.
Yeah.
But they had this vision.
Right.
And they weren't afraid to take risks.
They took some big risks.
And they're really making a name for themselves.
They are. They're one to watch.
Yeah.
For sure.
Well, that's all the time we have for today.
Great talking about this.
Before we go, we want to thank our friend Steve, the executive director of the Arizona Taiwan office, for recommending we take a look at Wiwynn.
Good call, Steve.
Thanks for the tip, Steve.
Yeah.
All right, folks. That's it for this one.
Hey, Ra.
Thanks for tuning in to the Board Business channel. Make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications.